I'm muting everybody. Can you guys hear me? Just go thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay.
Can Peter and Clinton here?
Mm-hmm.
Can Peter and Clinton here?
Exactly.
Can they?
I've muted everybody for right now coming in. Mhm.
Great finance cash or amazing cashback offers on Toyota trucks like Tundra and Tacoma. Shop online at your nearest Tri-State Toyota dealer today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it today.
Toyota. Let's
see Valentina. Yes. Are you not? Then I'll have to come over there and do it. You have to. Just go to Zoom and I gotta.
Can I ask whoever just came in to mute themselves, please? Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we're. Who's that? No. All right.
Okay. Got it.
You handle the.
So I believe everybody's on and you can start anytime.
Right, Donna, testing 1, 2, 3.
Gotcha.
Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order the March 31st special meeting of the East Whiteland Township Board of Supervisors. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening and welcome. I am Scott Lambert, Chair of the Board of Supervisors. Because of this atypical meeting format, I will introduce all of the township participants. Joining us in the main meeting room here in the township building are Assistant Township Manager Catherine Ricardo, Donna Weichert, Operations Manager, and who is also overseeing the Zoom meeting tonight, and Township Manager Steve Brown. Also located in the building here are Solicitor Bernadette Kearney and I, but due to technical issues and feedback issues from the Zoom call, we are participating virtually. Also participating remotely this evening are Vice Chair Peter Fixler and Supervisor Clinton Smith. Due to logistical constraints, the importance and the time-sensitive nature of tonight's matter, they are attending virtually.
I'll try the other one.
There's nothing.
There's two in here.
Can someone mute themselves? Thank you. This is a single agenda item meeting, and we'll try to stay on topic with that particular agenda. But before we begin, I just wanted to outline a couple procedural guidelines. The meeting is being recorded. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes, and we would begin comments originally from the live audience before we move on to the folks that are on the Zoom call. Topic before the board this evening.
Yeah, but you just.
The topic before the board this evening does not include and does not affect the currently pending Sentinel Green Fig LLC data center application. Specifics related to that application will not be discussed tonight. Furthermore, the Sentinel Green Fig application will also not be on the April 8th regular meeting agenda for the supervisors. Instead, a separate meeting of the Board of Supervisors will be held on April 14th.
My phone screen started. What is this?
I don't know.
Can someone mute themselves, please? Instead, a separate special meeting of the Board of Supervisors will be held on April 14th at Penn State Great Valley Campus Auditorium, the same venue as the Planning Commission meeting, which will be dedicated entirely to the ongoing Sentinel Green Fig application. We will have a public comment period prior to the vote on whether to proceed with the mutual curative amendment. We respectfully ask that all speakers adhere to the guidelines and remain within the scope of tonight's agenda. Now, turning to the purpose of tonight's meeting. Again, this does not apply to any pending application. The question before the township is whether the township believes that its current zoning regulations regarding data centers and energy generation systems are sufficiently specific to address the conditions and impacts associated with this rapidly evolving industry. As a result, the Board of Supervisors is considering whether to undertake a curative amendment process to review and update the zoning ordinance to ensure that it is clear and specific, that is legally compliant with the Pennsylvania Municipal Planning Code, the MPC, fair to all property owners, and protective of the community's health, safety, and welfare. This meeting is the first step in that process. Should the board vote tonight to initiate the municipal cure process, the township will by resolution make specific findings setting forth the declared invalidity of the zoning ordinance within 30 days of the date of this meeting. During this process, as permitted under Pennsylvania law, the township will temporarily pause the acceptance of new applications related to data centers and energy generation systems for a period of up to 180 days. It is also important to note that Pennsylvania is one of the few states that requires municipalities to provide for all types of legitimate land use. This means that municipalities cannot fully exclude lawful uses, such as a data center, but may regulate them appropriately through zoning. We have heard the concerns of our residents through the Planning Commission discussions, many submitted comments and emails, and other public input. If the resolution passes this evening, the Board of Supervisors will have 180 days to consider and vote on any proposed amendments to the zoning ordinance. At this time, I would like to make a motion to amend the original agenda as posted to change approve to consider and add public comment to the agenda. Peter, do I have a second?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And passes 3-0. Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, do we want to go into public comments or would we want to talk any further about the curative amendment?
Bernadette Kearney, the solicitor for the township. Yes, so there is a procedure as set forth in the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code for a municipal curative amendment. And we're going to review that procedure. 53 PS 10609.2 is the statute. And that is what we're here for tonight, to determine whether to proceed under the municipal curative amendment set forth in that section of the MPC. And it's specifically as it relates to data centers and energy generation systems. I don't know if Peter or Clinton has any questions. Again, this is just the start of the process. If the township were to consider initiating the municipal cure, there is a requirement to have within 30 days to complete a resolution. So if the board were to consider initiating the municipal cure, there would be that requirement to set forth a resolution within 180 days, as the chairman indicated.
Recording in progress.
Again, if the cure were initiated within 180 days, the board would consider passing a ordinance to address these issues. And I'm going to read specifically what it says in the ordinance, the statute, I apologize. Within 180 days from the date of declaration and proposal, the municipality shall enact a curative amendment to validate or reaffirm the validity of its zoning ordinance pursuant to the provisions required by section 609 in order to cure the declared invalidity of the zoning ordinance. So it's a process. It won't be done immediately, but we will work through that process. I didn't know if Peter or Clinton had any questions before we turn it over to public comment.
I don't have any questions. I think this is an important process that we'll be going through as we're kind of caught in this in between time of how to and how not to regulate the potential for another data center and where it should be in the township. So this is a very good thing to be doing.
No comment other than I think this is, important and moving forward. So we just need to get moving on this. So.
Okay, thank you. So I think at this juncture, I will ask Catherine Ricardo, who's in the main meeting room, to facilitate any of the folks regarding public comments that are located in the main building. And again, we will get to people that are on the Zoom call secondly. So Catherine, can I turn it over to you?
Can you hear us on Zoom? Hang on, I'll mute myself.
Yes, I can hear you, Catherine. And I see you. I can see you too. Thumbs up.
Did we just go up? 1 second, sorry. So, I need to make sure that sounds up. So just remember right here. All right. Is it the? It's echoing now.
Gonna echo a little bit because we probably have that one on.
Yeah, she'll have to mute it now.
It is muted. It is down, everybody, it's down. I mean, I just don't need everybody telling me, like, do this, do that, do this. It's hectic enough, believe me. Is that better?
Camera down.
I don't want this.
Yeah, you have to mute the TV
It
and
is
then
the TV.
unmute it.
Yep.
They talk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You should be okay. I think you're okay.
I think that's right.
You need the Samsung. Try it now.
Now let's try it. All right.
Okay.
Can you hear us on Zoom? Okay, but we cannot hear you in the meeting room now. Can one of you, maybe Scott, could you say something?
You're unmuted now. Can you
We're
hear us?
we're unmuted. Can you hear us? Testing. Testing. Testing.
Just unmute if they have something to say.
I mean, then if it is an issue, we could walk over.
Scott, can you say something? Scott, can you say something?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing again.
It's muted still.
You gotta do both.
can you
One.
say something again, please?
I'll keep talking here at this
Okay,
point
you're
in
good.
time.
We can
Thank
hear
you
you.
for everyone's
Okay.
patience.
Yes, thank you very much.
And
We're gonna do it this way for now because we can hear you and you can hear us, which is great. So now if you guys just want to line up for a public comment and just so we can hear.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. I apologize.
Do I have to push it button?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Can you hear me okay?
yes, Jenny, you might
Okay.
want to step back just a little bit.
No, I'm a little close. I see that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can still hear me from back here?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So Ginny Marcel Kerslake from West Whiteland Township. I'm familiar with the township zoning ordinance and I'm familiar with the municipal curative amendment process under the MPC. And first of all, I want to commend the supervisors for taking this really important step. It's great to hear that you are going to be doing this. I have just one strong suggestion to make. There are other municipalities in Pennsylvania that are doing exactly this same thing right now and for all the same reasons. One thing that some of them have been doing is including in the writing of the curative amendment a number of residents of the township to assist in that process. And what we have learned from the recent planning commission meetings is that you have a lot of engaged and very informed residents of East Whiteland Township. So involving a select number of them in this process would do two things. It would be really great for community relationships and building, and it would undoubtedly end in a better ordinance for East Whiteland Township in regards to data centers and power generating facilities. Looking at the resolution that you've prepared, I think that could easily just be accommodated in the current wording because you have in number 3, with the participation of such other consultants as the township may provide. So you could have unpaid citizen consultants, I think. But again, thank you very much. This is a really great thing to see tonight.
Oh, I can't see me. Hi. Hi, my name is Sriram Krishnan. I'm a resident
If
of
you
East
could,
Whiteland Township.
if
Sorry.
you could step back just a little bit, there you go. Yeah.
I apologize, Donna. We have on the chat, it said, could the host please let those who are in the Zoom waiting room?
There's nobody in the waiting room. I know
Ah,
they keep telling me that, but there's nobody in the waiting room. I've been looking.
Okay, thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
no
I
problem.
apologize.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, I think Ginny said most of what I was going to say, but my name is Sriram Krishnan. I'm a resident of East Whiteland Township. And I wanted to just kind of second exactly what, first of all, I wanted to commend the Board of Supervisors. I think that this is a very important topic. I agree with you that the zoning ordinance as written does not cover data centers, and this is a very recent phenomenon. So thank you, and particularly in your opening speech, Mr. Lambert, I wanted to commend you for mentioning not just the fairness of the property use of everybody, but also to maintain the health of the citizens of East Whiteland Township. That would also add to also preserve the culture and the open space and the open grounds that we have. I think East Whiteland is a very unique place to raise and grow a family. So thank you for considering this. I also wanted to just make the comment as well to second what Ginny just said. There are a number of us who not only are very passionate about this topic, but have certain expertise that we would like to be able to contribute and to be able to support this. Myself, I have a PhD in acoustics. It's specifically, I study the interaction of acoustics with the human body. And so to me, if it would be possible for the residents of East Whiteland who have a level of expertise and passion with this, who we can support in terms of the curative amendment and to support the folks that you have listed, that would be wonderful. So thank you again for taking on this topic. I really appreciate it. Put this up a little more. Back up. All right. All right. Okay.
It actually like auto focuses. So if you step back a little bit, it should like.
And
Yeah,
I'll like
there you
speak
go.
up into it. So
You're good.
all right. Hi, my name's Tyler. I'm a systems and network engineer. Essentially, I would be the kind of person that would work in a data center like this. So I'm very familiar with the kind of goals that a business like this would have. I first want to say thank you for taking the time and making a specific meeting for this, because I want to warn about the numbers games that are going to be played here. There is a lot of hyper-specific knowledge that you will need to reach upon in order to regulate this properly. This is, the one gentleman there is just acoustics. You're probably going to need you're going to need somebody for, energy, water, stuff like that. Risk, right? Because AI is very new, and that is a very risky venture to go down because it is it's what's called a hyperscale data center, which basically it does both cloud computing and AI, like generative AI tests, like training, the context of AI is why this has become such a pertinent topic and why it needs to be revisited. So I think I don't mean to lecture, but I urge diligence here because we are learning the numbers, and anybody who's going to want to build a data center knows most of these numbers already, and they are going to min-max those numbers as much as they can so they can get away with as much as they can. Yeah, thank you.
See me? Hi, I'm Tim Caban, 1050 West King Road. I have no specific expertise about this other than I want to comment on this process as far as zoning. I think it's good that you're going to go through this process of fixing the code. But in the past, when this code was implemented, it was implemented by the current legal counsel under the previous solicitor, Mr. McGrory, may he rest in peace. And under the code, after that was done, we experienced a process with the billboard, not to go very long, but we had legal counsel open up 3 sites compared to 1 to defend us against lawsuits. It ended up the billboard man used the 3 sites against us and negotiated a situation where the land that had been owned by a longtime property owner was given up by the township and then split by Mr. McGrory into 2 parcels to avoid allegations of spot zoning. We have arrived at a place where we have a billboard at 29 and 30 that we probably would have had somewhere anyway because it was 1. And then we have another billboard that sits dark because the billboard man got too arrogant and cut too many trees. So I just want to point out, and at the end of that all, then Mr. McGrory put the code back to the way it was before he suggested the change. So I just encourage, I hope to keep it positive here. I don't think that it makes sense to terminate any lawyers at this point. I understand the limitations of all this, but I would hope that we can encourage the highest standard from our legal counsel and be directed by the supervisors between the range of minimum necessary and maximum allowable within the code as it exists for the benefit of the citizens of this community. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Board of Supervisors and fellow residents of East Whiteland Township. My name is Srini Titali. I'm a medical doctor residing in East Whiteland Township. So I'm here to respectfully remind the Board of Supervisors before the new ordinance that's being taken up, which is very, very brave of the Board of Supervisors. And I really applaud that you're doing that in a very, very hearty way. but I'm here to represent the human element. What is the human element? The human element consists of health effects, deleterious health effects that could be possibly caused by the data center that is proposed to be built, short-term and long-term. So when you do consider the new ordinance and adoption of the new ordinance, you really have to take that into effect. There are a few of us that have collected a lot of data over the last couple of months or so that enables us to be able to be very, very helpful to you. And as residents of this township, we're proud to do that and do our part to help you adopt this ordinance in a very robust manner that will really help the township moving forward for years and years and years going forward. So I applaud again your courage in doing this, and I also plead with you to make sure that you have us help you represent the human element as part of this new ordinance. Thank you.
Oh, that's close. Hi. Hi. Hello, Board of Supervisors. My name is Kelly Donia, and I'm at 10 Corbin Drive in Malvern Hunt, as well as 1 South Backton Hill Road. I wanted to get up and thank you as well. I am so proud to be an East Whiteland citizen today. And what we're doing here, what you're doing here, it's historic. We're dealing with a situation, the world's dealing with situations right now, we're really not sure how to monitor it. We want to, of course, support building and commerce and so forth and technology, but at the same time, you know, we need to protect ourselves. So it's a really exciting / scary tentative time. And my comments before were asking for a pause, and that's exactly what you're doing. And I really appreciate that. The committee is a great idea. We've organized people that have investigated real estate devaluation. We have people, as Shri was just speaking, that know acoustics. We have health. And I think also the idea of allowing a certain space of, you know, a half a mile or what have you from the data center to the residences. Some people say we might need more. I don't know, but these are the things that all should be considered. And we have people that are more than willing to participate in this. And so please let us know if we can be of service. And thank you very much for your efforts here. And thank you also to your admin that have been putting up with all of us. We really appreciate them as well. Thank you.
I'm a little bit taller than Kelly, so let's figure this one out. Yeah, okay. Right there? Yeah, all right. Hi, I'm Tony Giannino. I live in Malvern Hunt. I have a wife and 2 small children. And I just want to echo what a lot of my fellow residents here have said, just in thanking the board for this resolution. It's a huge relief just to see that you guys are recognizing that, you know, our current zoning laws just aren't made for what the current data centers and kind of everything that's coming into our environment is presenting itself with these problems. You know, as you spend the next few months just rewriting these rules that, you know, cure the problem that kind of was in existence, I just have a big request. Just please make sure they have teeth so that we don't have to revisit this down the line and come back and have it bite us in the butt. You know, I know a lot of folks have spoken about just the additive resources that you have in our community. You know, you have a lot of smart individuals who want to put up, you know, a lot of their time. Doesn't have to be paid. We want to be in this with you guys and just hold hands and get to a good place for our community. You know, something that specifically that I encountered, you know, and kind of some of the research that I've done is that some of the language that was put in the past really didn't make it specifics. Things that in the past that would have been overlooked need to be really just in there. And kind of having definitive nature. Something like a 60% increase in plans or a doubling the size of power input. For a particular site that in the past would have been an application, may have been tried to put through an amendment. I just think that those things have to have teeth. And make sure that they reset everything in the past. You can't slip through things that might not be effective or might not be the best for our community in the future. And I'm rooting for you guys. I'm rooting for our team here. We're here at your disposal. Please reach out and let us help you. Thanks again for everything you put through us or put up. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karen Fordyce, and I live in Malvern Hunt. I too want to thank the supervisors for taking a look at this. I mean, what data centers were in 2010 is not what data centers are today, and we know a lot more. It's all you have to do is go on the internet and look it up, and it is not good. I do have to voice, though, my concern as to who's going to be on this committee and what it's going to like to build this ordinance. I appreciate all the other residents who have said, let's work together as a team. Let's keep this positive. We have a lot of people with a lot of strong backgrounds in areas that we can use and do it together. I would like to see it to be a diverse group of members. We have a diverse community. Let's represent that diverse community in this committee. And I think we should have a few residents as well as people with strong scientific backgrounds, environmental protections, environmental backgrounds, as well as health, such as doctors. And I also would ask that we please take a look at who's on this committee and make sure that there is no one with any conflict of interest. We must keep our township ordinance 133-8 in mind. That ordinance states that it's unlawful to engage in any activity that is unreasonably interferes with the use, comfort, or enjoyment of a neighbor's property or endanger the health and the safety of its occupants. If we're going to do this correct, then let's be sure we get this right and let's build it together.
Okay. Hi, my name is Shiva Kapsi. I'm a resident of Malvern Hunt, and I spoke at the Planning Commission. As I said, I'm a scientist. So one thing I would like the board to consider is the air quality index, which is the human element. I mean, I know there are elements about the noise pollution, light pollution, sound pollution, but one of the things that combines everything is the air quality. And I think these hyperscale data centers going to be utilizing multiples of generators for a given time. And as it was told, we probably were looking at 68. But when you look at the collective impact of these generators, the air quality could be a major factor. And I suggest we must take that into consideration as we build this ordinance. I think that, and there are scientists here who can definitely help assess the the air quality index, because we are in an area where air quality is about 27 in terms of the AQI. But you go to some places where they're very industrious, you're looking at about 300 to 400. And when you calculate some of the numbers, when you look into the data center, we may be in those vicinity within a mile. So it's really important we really clarify and ratify what exactly we need to be setting the criteria when we allow a data center to be used. Okay? And I do look forward to working with the team as it is announced. Okay? Thank you.
We good? Is that okay? Good. Troy Baker, 1001 East Lincoln Highway. Also the head of school for Church Farm in Exton. I'll give my spiel to anyone who will listen. First of all, I do appreciate the steps y'all are taking right now in the interest of the safety of folks in the community. And as the head of school at Church Farm, I am really charged with really thinking about the safety boys who live on our campus. So we're about 150 students, 18 residential life staff, as well as some faculty and staff who also live on campus. We employ quite a few people. We own around $10 million worth of real estate in the Malvern Hunt neighborhood. And so when we think about our footprint right now in that corridor, it's pretty large. And the only thing I would ask is just to consider impacts on learning, impacts on young people, what happens with developing brains and developing bodies, and really just ask that you consider Church Farm School as you go through this process. Thank you for your time.
I'm Fred Sluka, 1011 West King Road, East Whiteland. Who am I talking to here? Peter and Scott and Clinton? I'm trying to see who all. Okay. I've heard a lot of concerns from people about data centers in general, and they seem to focus mostly on air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, those kinds of things. And those are all valid concerns, but I think we may be missing the point. There are potentially much, much bigger concerns. So people haven't talked a lot about the transformers and how much power has to be stepped down and how much oil is stored in the transformers and the risk of fire. Now, living on West King Road for 33 years, I've seen a lot of transformer fires on poles around me. Very small transformers, but they're dramatic. They catch fire, they explode, that sort of thing. We're also not talking much about the generators and the power the danger just of the generators. And the third thing that I think is the biggest risk is any data center, if the power goes out, they have a UPS. They have an uninterruptible power supply, which involves batteries. And if we're going to have massive data centers, any risk of anywhere near a gigawatt of power, for instance, that's a lot of batteries. And I don't know about you guys, but I've heard lots of stories of little lithium-ion batteries that were accidentally allowed to slip through and get into the Lancaster landfill, for instance. They try to keep people from putting them in the landfill, but when one gets in there and it gets crushed by a bulldozer or whatever and it breaks open, it catches fire. They have 3 fires a month, maybe three a month, I think, not 3 a month that they have to put out because a lithium battery broke open and started burning. Now we're talking about for a large data center, you would have tens of thousands of lithium-ion batteries packed in close proximity. And if one of those goes bad and gets hot, there's a risk of what they call a runaway thermal reaction, where the heat just goes up and up and up to tens of thousands of degrees. And the batteries in burning at that heat generate explosive gases. So you can get a big explosion, and you're sitting on top of a Superfund site, which is full of what's the pollution there, I think, is actually lithium also in the ground, right? I don't think the people in Malvern Hunt should be worried about noise and unsightly buildings. They should be worried about how tall that berm is, not for sound reduction, but for blast prevention. Because the initial explosion in the runaway thermal reaction could knock down all the houses and all the trees in Malvern Hunt and for several miles in circle before burning them all up. So just be aware that there are serious, serious risks here, even beyond all the ones that other people have mentioned. I can send you details in email. I have all 3 of your email addresses. Okay?
Hi, I'm Mark DeVries. I just moved back to East Whiteland after 30 years. I grew up around here. I don't have a whole lot of expertise like some of these other people. I'm an attorney, but not in municipal code. But I have worked on critical infrastructure, and I know these data centers, I think the tough part of getting my hands around it and everybody's hands around it is it's new. It's not a refinery. It's not we're not mining. Like this is something that is relatively new to the world. So I think like a new ordinance, it would be great, or a modification or amendment to an ordinance. It'd be great if it had a process with teeth, like someone mentioned already, but with also a review process, because some of the data center developers don't even know how this is going to play out, and this becomes an integrated network of data and things become more critical and energy is used, consumed, and we can see how it plays out. So if there's a review process with some teeth that's maybe not super litigious and not we don't have to sue the owners or do a confrontational process where the township can take a look at the impacts every 5 years, whatever it is, or like the developers can pay into an escrow account, pay engineers, independent engineers to evaluate the impacts of the project. That's sort of what I pitch for is in the process.
Hi, I'm Namita Kapsi, and I'm a resident of Malvern Hunt. I have a background in pharmacy, and for that reason, the impacts of data center on the health and mental health, especially of the residents, is very important to me. And the second point that I would like to stress on the committee is consider that the data centers are becoming future military targets, which we've already seen happening in the current war in Iran right now. So I would like the committee to even consider in the ordinance how to fit in a future target in a residential area, and what are the safety measures that could be taken for that. And also when these data centers, so the third point, data centers, when they become abandoned in the future. So what are the rules? And we do not want an empty structure standing there. So these were a couple of three suggestions that I was trying to make. And thank you. Thank you for all the work. Yeah.
I think that's all we have in here for public comment. I think at this time, if there's anyone online who has public comment, we'd be opening it up for that. So if you want to raise your hand, if you're online and you wanted to give public comment, we would take that at this time.
So as they raise their hand, I will ask them to unmute themselves. And bear with me, everybody, there's 80 people on, so I have to go to 4 different screens to see who's got their hand raised. So please bear with me.
While she's doing that, I'm going to switch back over to the other audio. So this computer will not be. I will do my best. I'll try.
I don't see any hands raised, so I'm going to ask one more time. Okay, wait a minute. Randy, could you unmute yourself, please? Randy, you can unmute yourself, please. Okay, we'll move on to Carla. I'll ask you to unmute yourself, please. I can hear you.
Okay, am I up? Megan Reese, 175 Lap Road. Thank you for considering this and doing this and listening to everybody. And thank you everybody for being on Zoom and for, caring about this. I think it's really excellent and wonderful. I think I just want to just really thank everyone for showing up. And I would just second, third, fourth, what everybody's saying. I did post a link to Moss Landing, which was a fire, lithium fire, battery fire from a data center collection. That is now a Superfund site. So I think it's worth going over and looking at these things that have happened so we can learn from them and just settle, look at everything. I think it's great to collectively use everyone. And yeah, that's all I got. Thanks again.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Anaga Capsey. I'm from Exton, Pennsylvania. I was brought up in Malvern Hunt, but I'm actually a university student now studying public health at Hopkins. And so studying this exact topic that relates to health in our community, I spent my childhood right along Sweetsford Road, right along the Chester Valley Trail, and I can attest to how important it is to preserve the natural beauty of our ecosystem. I went to elementary school in Katie Markley, and we were taught to even identify different trees and birds that were native to our area. So I really do understand how important it is to keep our community thriving. The data centers, as many people have spoken, have been linked to air pollution, noise and light pollution, and water pollution. But I just want you to imagine right now in Malvern Hunt, it's quiet. You can hear the birds chirping, you can hear the cars on the road, and you can hear the wind blowing. But when this data center arrives, this natural peace will be lost and the overall quality of life decreases. The same can be said about air pollution. These particles, known as fine particulate matter that come from the generators, have nitrous oxides, and they're directly associated with an increased risk for respiratory diseases, cardiovascular conditions, and cancer. Same goes for water pollution. There's an increase of local water scarcity, increase of waterborne diseases, and overall poor hygiene. And this is because these centers require lots of cooling water and specifically fresh water, which we all know is pretty scarce. And so in my opinion, this is an inefficient allocation of our resources that I can't really justify no matter what our economic benefits are for the township. And so all the research that I've done has been cited, and it was sent in my letter to the Board of Supervisors. And so our ecosystem is already combating climate change, and adding this AI-related data center will only add to the problem and not take from it. And looking into the future, we want a healthy ecosystem and healthy population for the future generation of East Whiteland. It's not something that we need, no matter what the economic incentive is. And no amount of profit is worth costing the health of our community. Thank you.
Anybody else want to speak? I don't see any hands.
Thank you.
I don't see any more hands, anyone, so I'm not sure. Oh, wait, Randy keeps putting his hand up, but he's not speaking. Randy, if you could unmute yourself, that would be great.
That's it. You can hear us again.
Well, how about Katie Muth? If you could unmute yourself and speak, please.
I think I'm unmuted, but please confirm.
You're unmuted.
Okay, thank you. I'm pulling over because I'm driving, so I'm going to make public comment safely. Yes, exactly. Thank you. I just wanted to commend the board for taking this action. I think more municipalities need to follow that lead. And, this does take political courage in the sense there's a lot of pressure. And I completely understand that pressure and also the fear of, fighting things legally. But, I think it's best to be sued for doing the right thing rather than for doing the wrong thing. And what I put in the chat earlier is, and Scott, this is no offense to you by any means personally, it's a talking point I'm hearing across the Commonwealth that yes, we are the state that says we have to allow all types of development. But I guess the legal question still needs to be decided by the courts when an area allows for so much residential development and allows the population to grow. At what point are we now in a situation of spot zoning, leaving industrial parcels and putting residents in harm's way? And I think the concerns brought up by all residents that spoke this evening and at prior meetings are completely valid and based in science. And I hope that East Whiteland Township makes decisions that are based on fact and science, that is, peer-reviewed science, and that you understand that residential development does not belong anywhere near industrial development of any type, whether it be a data center or otherwise. And so your community already has some industrial development, and I think you've checked the box of allowing different types of development, to be built in East Whiteland Township. And at some point, there isn't enough space to build what some developers may want to build and still be able to protect residents. And I think that's ultimately what we're talking about here, whether it be the current data center proposal that's not part of what's happening tonight or any future industrial proposals in general. And I am certainly dedicated to helping in any way I can make sure that whatever's redrafted and rewritten and adopted is definitely upholding, fact, science, and protecting the public. So I just wanted to also add in a plug to make sure that we add in some specific things about emergency response management that are cited to international fire standards. That was something that the Loudoun County Fire Marshal and Chief shared with me that would go a long way in terms of enforcement. So that's something I think really could apply to all zones in the township. So thank you for letting me speak, and thank you for taking a big step forward by doing this curative amendment.
Okay, Julie, you're up next.
Yeah, hi everyone. I just wanted to make two comments because I just to piggyback off of something that Katie Muth just pointed out, which is I continue to also hear the MPC requirements, but I do again want to. I've said this at several meetings, and I'll get a shirt and need to wear it and continue to say is we also as Pennsylvanians have constitutional rights to clean air and environment and preserve public lands. And that is one of the things that is granted in our state constitution, and that is quite unique. So we can continue to cite the MPC requirements, and every single time we do, I would also like to just give that reminder of our resident state constitutional rights that guarantee that. The second thing I would just want to point out is, as someone who works in health outcomes research and public health, one of the biggest concerns I can see, and I think we need to take into consideration here, is the compounding factors that exist. A lot of the submissions and ordinances are looking at things that view data points in isolation instead of going ahead and having additional context. Looking at air pollution factors, looking at environmental hazards and environmental factors, they need to take into consideration specific details of the land and area. Particularly here, we have a ground, we have a geology that is prone to collapsing. And is why we have a $25 million project going on Route 29 right now, because the ground is collapsing. That is because of karst geology. And that means that we are disproportionately at risk to groundwater contamination. So, I don't think anyone here has the expectation of a committee to have all of this expertise, but I do think that it is important to put on a board and document what we don't know and get information about it so we can shape an ordinance accordingly. Thank you.
Give me a minute. I don't see anybody else's hand up. Does anybody want to say anything?
Donna, if they're unable to raise their hand, I think we were looking at the chat. If you put your name in the chat, Donna will see that and can allow you to speak as well.
I don't see anything. Do you guys? Oh, just letting somebody in. Hold on. Do you guys see anybody in the chat asking or anything? I don't see anything in the chat. I'm sorry.
Donna, I do see that Carla had indicated Rajesh Shah was trying to get
Yeah.
in.
He's in.
Okay.
He's in. All right.
He's in. There's a delay somewhere in here, but as the people are coming on, I see like how many people are there. They're getting in. I just don't know where the delay is, whether it's on my end or the residents' end, but as people are coming on, they're getting in. Thank you.
Why don't we just give it just one more minute here, just in case there's a delay for somebody to come in,
Yes.
so we can hear, and then I think Bernadette has some wrap up.
We just have one more comment in the meeting room, Scott and Donna. So I'm just gonna, if there's nobody else
Okay.
in the
Sure.
chat, I'll just.
I'm going to step away for 1 second.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Gaia Krishnan, and I am an East Whiteland Township resident for the past 20 years. Like everyone else, thank you so much for organizing this meeting at such short notice, but it was something that needed to be done, and thank you for taking a positive step forward. My question, or actually my comment rather, is I do see a list of possible committees that would be offering their expertise or their suggestions, but I don't see the East Whiteland Township Economic Council or Environmental Council, sorry, and I would really like them to have input. We do have some wonderful expertise in that, and I would love for them to be part of this ordinance decision making. Thank you.
What's going on tonight?
Okay, Donna, I think I will just offer, if any of the supervisors would like to add or say anything, I would just kind of start it off with just the sense that I appreciate everyone's being involved here tonight with the comments, with the positive comments, comments that will help us craft this new curative, provided, of course, we vote for it tonight. But thank you. A lot of good points, a lot of knowledge out there, a lot of spirit on the internet and spirit in the room for East Whiteland Township.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, Scott, let's just pass this curative amendment so we could get moving forward with the next step in this process. There's nothing else to say.
And I just want to piggyback off Scott's comment and just thank everyone for coming out and sharing their thoughts and views, suggestions. I think it's very important, and just excited to move forward.
I don't know why people are saying
with this. So,
I mean, I just took a picture and showed her they're in. I don't know what she wants me to do. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Bernadette, do I need to make a motion now?
Okay, there.
Sorry.
Okay, you're off mute.
Peter, I was going to make a suggested motion. And that would be, my suggested motion would be to declare and initiate the municipal cure process by formal action pursuant to 53 PS 10609.2, procedure upon municipal curative amendment. To indicate that, to declare the East Whiteland Township zoning ordinance is substantively invalid in part as it relates to data centers and energy generation systems, and to proceed as set forth in that section 53 PS 10609.2 to meet the requirements set forth therein. That is my suggestion, my suggested motion.
So to save you from having to,
I would make the motion as read by the solicitor. There's no way I can remember all that
and that
or
sounds
dictate
good.
that fast.
I will second that motion. All in favor, supervisors?
Aye.
And the curative amendment passes 3-0.
And again, we all want to thank everyone for their input.
Yes, thank you.
Can I say
Okay.
something?
Yes.
I apologize that everybody heard me curse, but I'm just getting frustrated over here, so I do apologize.
We missed that, Donna. Do you want to repeat?
Well, Carla told me she heard me.
Sorry about that, but
It happens.
It
So
happens.
if anybody
Yes.
heard me, I apologize.
Okay.
It wasn't anything bad.
So at this point in time, I guess I will call the
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the special meeting of March 31st.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.